Good morning from the KOZY newsroom. This is Michael Davis. Today we have an interview with some of the cast and crew of the Grand Rapids Players production of Meet Me in St. Louis. First up, we'll be talking with Assistant Director Nathan Bergstead.
Now, this is your first time out as Assistant Director. Interesting challenges. Are you prepared? Tell me a little bit about it.
Well, it certainly has its challenges. I'm used to taking on a role and on stage being an actor, and in those cases, there's a lot that you need to know. Like who your character is. You got to know the scene that you're in. You got to know all your lines. I mean, there's a lot to do. But in this case, there's less lines to memorize, but you essentially need to know what everyone is doing. Mm-hmm. And so, it's definitely a different challenge.
And now, you've been in quite a few productions with the Players. Which do you, off the cuff here, which would you rather be doing? Directing, performing?
I don't know.
Both?
I think it would depend on the play. There's certain characters that I think would be just a hoot to play, but there's certain plays that I would love to really kind of be behind.
Okay.
So,
David,
yes.
Introduce yourself.
David Martin.
And you are playing?
Alonzo Smith.
The patriarch.
The patriarch of the Smith family.
The Smith family. A little wound tight?
Pretty much, it seems like. All he does is show up and yell at children. That's my kind of role. So.
Now, the whole principle behind it is you've got a promotion. You're moving the whole family to New York on the eve of the greatest events in sliced bread.
Right.
So they're not too happy with you.
Evidently.
Yeah, I can't imagine why.
Yeah, I've never been able to figure that out myself, even in the show. So.
But they're going to have to come and see the show to figure out what's going to happen.
Right.
So,
and hear me sing and extol the virtues of New York.
Malcolm, introduce yourself.
My name is Malcolm Wessing. I play the role of Grandpa Profader.
Okay, and Grandpa's got a little eccentricity to him. Is that difficult for you?
Not exactly. I probably come by that very naturally. The eccentricity is not really explained in the play, but kind of comes out in really the hats that he wears. So that's kind of fun.
The female lead has gone to a newcomer to stage, Patty Camper.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about Esther. Just a real quick little...
She's crazy. She lives her life, not necessarily by the rules put there for her, but in the same sense, she is a very proper girl.
Okay. There's some tension going on in it because your character kind of falls in love with the boy next door.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden your dad is like uprooting everybody. How are you dealing with it? What's she doing?
She's trying to live her life as fast as she can. She seems to believe if she can live things faster, if she can get the experiences faster, then maybe it'll change. And it doesn't really hit her until the end that things aren't going to change, or things will change no matter what she does.
This is your first time with the Players?
Yes.
Your first major role on stage?
Yes.
Challenges?
Really the most challenging part is the singing with the group and just trying to know that I'm doing things right, because I have no clue if I am, so...
Let me think what else I want to ask. When you're up there, singing some of your numbers, everyone knows Judy Garland did this, and this is why we're doing this show, is because in conjunction with the Garland Festival. Do you feel any pressure trying to live up to that?
Yes, all the time.
From everything I've heard, you're doing fine. So I think it's going to work out pretty good. What's the most difficult thing that you've had to do?
The most difficult thing, honestly, is trying to control the stage when it's just me and trying to be all the entertainment there.
That's pretty deep. That's pretty interesting.
Esther's love interest is also played by a newcomer to the stage, sort of. John Truitt, also known as Dalton Grigsby.
Now, John is an interesting character. I mean, you start out kind of like oblivious to things going on around you, don't you?
Oh yeah, John starts out as a completely thick-headed boy.
But something happens along the way that really changes the whole world.
Oh yeah, he meets Esther and his world gets completely flipped around, and the way he sees it is she could never like him at all, but he completely is obsessed with him or her. So.
And little known to him, she's the same way.
Oh yeah.
So when you guys finally click, it's magic.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But then mean old dad comes in and throws a monkey wrench in the works, right? He's going to move the family to New York. So.
Oh yeah, that completely throws him off limits and pretty much puts him in a desperate way.
Okay. Now, this is something that the listeners really need to know. This is your first time in front of the curtain, more or less. You're usually backstage. What's the deal? Why?
Well, worked backstage for so many plays, and I figured, hey, why not try out for a play, get in some small role, and just kind of go with it. But I was lucky enough to get John as my part, and I'm loving it.
Yeah,
so
it's not too small of a role either. So
no, it's a little bit bigger than I wanted to begin with. So yeah.
I think the director staff has some confidence in you, though. So
yeah, which is mildly surprising, seeing as how I've only been backstage and he's seen how I work backstage, and it's rough.
Well, now your father and your two brothers or three brothers are in this also. Is this interesting? Is it fun working together with all of them?
It's really interesting because usually the three brothers and I don't really get along. We usually are arguing all the time, but so far it's been really fun, actually. The brothers and dad have actually been getting along really well, and it's been a blast.
And a little bit of trivia about the cast. Two of the members are dating.
My name is Tony Schmid.
And who are you playing?
I play Alonzo Smith Jr.
Okay. Now, Tony, you've done a few other Players productions.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the word is that once you've been up on stage, you keep coming back. Is that true?
That is very true.
And something that's kind of interesting is you've met your girlfriend as during one of the Players productions, and in this show you're her older brother.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. My first production with Grand Rapids Players was It's a Wonderful Life. I found the poster at Itasca Community College where I'm going to school, and I contacted Randy, who was the director at the time, and got to know him and got in the show, and I ended up walking out. There were 6 parts, and during the first tech rehearsal run through, I met Hannah Anderson, who was working backstage at the time, and I got to know her really well, and we became good friends, and a few months later we started dating. So it's been a very unique experience, and we always get a kick out of, especially on the cast, that I'm dating my younger sister.
Introduce yourself.
My name is Hannah Anderson.
And who are you playing?
I'm playing the older sister, Rose Smith.
Okay. There's some interesting interaction here because, you've performed, or you've been with the Players doing quite a few things.
Yes.
You've worked behind stage.
Yes.
And that was actually kind of serendipitous because it helped you meet your boyfriend.
Yes.
Tony is actually playing your older brother.
Yeah.
So this is interesting.
It's a little weird. When we found out that we were brother and sister, we laughed about it. Now it's just kind of a little joke at play practice. So.
Okay. Any challenges? I mean, anything that you're enjoying?
I'm really enjoying working with the cast. The challenges is getting the lines down and remembering where they are.
First of all, Jared, introduce yourself.
I'm Jared Oberton.
And you are playing?
Warren Sheffield.
Okay. What can you tell me about Warren?
Warren is heir to $1 million estate in New York.
Okay. And you're kind of hung up on one of the Smith family, right?
Yeah, that'd be Rose Smith.
Okay. So you're actually, there's a really interesting scene between you and her where you're calling her long distance. Now, and we got to remember this is set in 1904, so that's quite a thing to do, is to call someone long distance in 1904. How does that scene feel for you? Is it fun to do, or is?
Oh yeah, I can't wait till we actually do the scene with the microphones and we get the crackling noise like they had back then. It wasn't like we have now cell phones where everything's crystal clear.
When asked if there was anything the cast wanted to mention to the listeners, they all responded.
Come and see the show. You're in for a treat.
Come to the show, and I hope that at the end of the show you will want to come back or invite other people.
The shows are 16th and the 17th of June, 7 on the 16th and 2 and 7 on the 17th. Hope to see you there.
Patty Campa has a last bit of advice for everyone.
Everyone needs to try this because it's an amazing experience. Better than you could imagine.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Hope this has been informative for you. The Grand Rapids Players production of Meet Me in St. Louis is Thursday and Friday, June 16th and 17th. Tickets are available at the Rife Center. This is KOZY News Director Michael Davis.